Episode 7 I thought was a pretty funny yet interesting episode, and actually this time around I felt a bit represented, because coming from a Caribbean household myself, I felt as though the funeral scenes especially was very accurate, maybe not as outrageous, but it's pretty close. I mean, the family was going through a grieving process, and I thought that all the extreme feelings or emotions was behind passion and love. I mean, just in general, regardless of your background, you're not going to have the best feelings arise amidst the passing of a loved one. You know, it's death after all. But anyways, I feel as though the social commentary this time around was about like rich white families and their attitudes towards childcare workers, as well as a bit of disconnection. That point really isn't driven until the final scene of this episode, when the father finally opens the package and it's revealed to be a photograph with Sylvia as well as Sebastian during family picture day, which also circles back to a previous conversation in the episode when the mom is like, oh, when did they start doing that at school? We must have not been the only parents there, which kind of goes to show you that Sylvia was a very integral part of the family's life, and the parents really didn't know their son all that well, or were not that involved in his life. And I guess the only excuse that they have is that they're working full time, hence needing a nanny in the first place. But like, come on, you missed even that? It doesn't make any sense. To me, Sebastian was the titular character of the episode. He not only ate spicy curry mango, knew patois, but also took in Sylvia's culture. I mean, given the fact that he is a kid, it does make sense that he'd be impressionable or be easily influenced by these things, but it's like he was not off put by any of it. The parents, on the other hand, didn't seem to have known Sylvia all that well and were quick to replace her with a Chinese nanny if the opportunity came. The mom more so because she wanted her son to learn Mandarin and tried to build him up for the business world, which can arguably summed up any parent's good faith in wanting the best for their children. But still, it was weird how she was really trying to enforce that onto him without really considering what he may want for his own future. And there was another instance too when she had gotten him a coding thing, which I know is a really valuable asset in that industry, so it was as if she treated Sebastian more as a commodity than anything. But overall, I thought she was a pretty odd character yet very cautious parent, especially when it came to her son. The father, on the other hand, was a lot more open-minded. Even in the opening scene, he was listening to rap music, tried the spicy mango, and even saw the significance in teaching Sebastian the concept of death. Despite his age, he seemed to have already had some grasp on it, especially after the mom tried the whole dinosaur extinction analogy, which also reaffirms the idea that they know very little about him and may have even underestimated their son intellectually. Now, when it came to that funeral, there was two things that stuck out to me like a sore thumb. The first was when they were referred to as a cockroach, which, if you don't know, there's a saying in Trinidad where it goes, cockroaches have no right in a fowl party, which basically just means that they're in a place where they're not wanted, especially if they're not of the same or are part of a different social class. Like, I mean, the man was driving a 2022 Range Rover, so I think it goes without saying. And the other thing was seeing Chet Hanks casted as a Trinidadian man. At first, I didn't think twice about it, to be honest, and I was like, that face looks familiar, but I could just be imagining things. But like, no, it really was him. Of all people, he was the last person I was expecting to see. And like, back to what I was saying, it really isn't uncommon to find someone who has that appearance be born and raised in that country. They very much exist. Sometimes the Caribbeans can be a very diverse country depending on where you look. But apart from everything else, I thought this is a pretty great episode. I guess there is one other thing that I like to mention. This has about to be the only detour of an episode that has some link to our main cast of characters. Right before the husband parks, or when he leaves his car, there is a zoom in on the background where there is a poster of Paperboy Coming Home Tour, and it marks the date 10/31. We know we're getting season 4, especially later this year, so I'm thinking that just maybe around that time or on that day is when season 4 releases. And I think personally it would make a lot of sense for that to be the case, as some sort of Easter egg foreshadowing it, so then someone could look back and say, oh, I saw it was happening, we already got the release date months ago, and so here it is. But yeah, above everything else, for real this time, that's all I have to say for this video. What do you guys think? I do love seeing discussion in the comments below, and I do genuinely enjoy seeing other perspectives different from my own and seeing what other people have taken from it. Like, it's become my own personal joy every week, so please feel free to do so. Anyways, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next one.